I'm going to invite our CCO, Michael Tanaka, in now to kind of show what does single-step multi-factor authentication MIRACL style look like, and then we can go from there. Hello.
Hi there. I love the idea of what does single-step multi-factor look like. Here we go. I'm going to show you that.
We'll save that for the next one.
Oopsie. All right, a window. Here we go. Entire screen.
And as Michael's sharing his screen again, if there's any extra questions, please let us know. All right, we can see your screen.
Okay, so obviously we go around with the tagline, the login you love, and single-step multi-factor authentication, and that's because of what you're going to see exactly now. So if a user just open a browser, and in this case, actually I'll open a new one. What the heck? So I hit whatever site it is that I'm entering. I then do the typical thing, go for my login. But in this case, I just type in my PIN, and that's the entire job done in one step, taking approximately 2 seconds. And I'm going to slow that down a little bit so you can get a look at it again. So when I hit login, I've already got my identity established in this particular browser. And then I just have to type in my PIN, and I'm straight in there. And that's actually the equivalent of your username password coupled with an SMS OTP. So it meets the banking standards and also the gaming standards for multi-factor authentication. And because it's such a low friction process, we can use it in any action, any sort of critical action. So in this case, I'm buying into a game as an example. And what we can do is throw up the PIN pad for the user. And because they're typing in exactly the same PIN that they selected for the device, we have pretty much 100% success rate right there alone.
So Michael, thank you for that. You did say that this qualifies as both a password and SMS, so forth, but do you mind walking us through a tiny bit slower, like how is this multi-factor authentication?
Yeah, that's a really good point, because if I do something as simple as this, I'm going to launch an incognito window which hasn't been given a PIN, and I'm going to go into that same casino demo again. When I hit login, and this is what an attacker will see, they'll just see an unregistered device, meaning they have no opportunity to actually even try to attack my account. So very simply, the security comes from the fact that the user and the user alone has been allowed to choose a PIN for their device. That could have happened on registration, or could have been happened from an invite or some other point in time. And of course, the user can add other devices as they need. But the point is, when they choose a PIN, that PIN is for their device. So they need the PIN present, or sorry, the device present, and the user needs to know what the PIN is. And that's where your qualification is. You've got that the possession factor of the device, and you've got the knowledge factor being the PIN. But the way it looks like the user is incredible.
So this is the PIN that you're putting in though is matching with a lot of tech in the background to know the device with the PIN.
Yeah, we can definitely go into the cryptography, but suffice it to say that the PIN is being used only locally. In such a way that we're giving up absolutely no information on the user or the device. There's no way that any of the information flows can be intercepted. There's no way they can be replayed. So attacks like man in the middle or a replay won't work. But importantly, because it's proper multi-factor, something like a phishing attack won't work. What you'll see as an example, when I log in here, my PIN is always 1245. But think about that. You know what my ID, demo@miracle.com is. You know the PIN is 1245. What do you do with it? So I could phish as an attacker. I could phish all that information from somebody, but the attacker would have nothing to use it on. And that also applies for things like credential stuffing. Now, that's actually one of the biggest attacks we've seen recently. You know, DraftKings, 65,000 accounts or whatever, and a whole bunch of other guys like that. Or password spraying, which is a related and very similar sort of attack. Those attacks also won't work at all because they just don't even have the opportunity.
Brilliant. Sign me up. So unless there's any other questions or comments, what we want to leave you with now is we are going to be at ICE next week. If you'd like to see this in action or be able to discuss how this might work for your platform, do get in touch at info@miracle.com. We have a myriad of other resources. Rob was just on the G3 Newswire podcast yesterday, and we're really pleased today to launch actually a UX report at miracle.com US short, there it is, to go ahead and check out how this works a little bit more, how people hate it when their login experience is a poor one, and how it affects the rest of their feelings about your brand and how it gets in the way. And also, feel free to reach out with any other questions. But thank you, Michael. Thank you, Rob. Have a good day.
I guess the main question, who's going to win the Super Bowl, right? Chiefs or Eagles?
Well, if you know, then I'm going to go put it in a good bet in one of our clients' sites. Anyways, anyway, that was a poor ending. But thank you everyone for joining us, and have a wonderful afternoon.
Great.
And get in touch if we can help further.
Thanks a lot.
See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye.